Hello.
Hi, is this Atia?
This is her.
Hey, Atia, this is Tommy Bryson.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. I just want to let you know, Atia, this call is going to be recorded and potentially uploaded to YouTube, so I can help you.
Okay. I thought it was at 2:30. I was scared when I got the
Yeah.
call. Well, I don't know what I'm doing as far as stocks, and
Okay.
so I purchased some stocks on with my Cash App,
Mm-hmm.
and I bought a couple of stocks, and it's been at $85 because I actually don't know what to do after I have bought the stock. Do
Okay.
I
So
fund it?
okay. So what did you buy?
Okay, I'm going to put speaker and take a look here.
Okay. Now I asked you that question, kind of like a trick question, right? And the idea is that
Okay.
because you're asking me, tell me, I bought the stock, it's not growing, and you're not really sure what you bought, right? So now, why did you buy those investments that you actually bought?
Um, because I knew I wanted to do something with stock, but once I purchased them,
Mm-hmm.
then I realized I have no idea what I am doing. So they're
Okay.
just kind of sitting here.
Okay.
Um,
And what's
because
your income right now?
my income right now, I'm about at 55,000.
Per month, per month. What would you say your income is net?
Oh, per month. Let me do the math.
What do you get in your paycheck? What are your paychecks are per month or per
So
week?
yeah. So hold on. I've never even thought about that.
How much do you get paid per week?
I am on salary. I am actually a professor, so I'm gonna pull that up.
Okay.
So I bring home almost 5,000 a month.
A month. Five thousand
Mhm.
dollars. Let's say $5,000 net, right? Is it less than 5,000 or almost 5,000? What is it?
It's almost 5,000. So it's
So
like 44 and some change.
yeah, so $4,400. And do you know your monthly expenses?
They put me around 2,000.
Okay, so $2,000. So you're telling me, and how long have you been a teacher for?
3 years.
3 years. So you're telling me that right now, since you've had a surplus of around $2,400 times 12 times 3, you have around $86,000 in savings?
How much again?
$86,000 in savings?
Do I have $86,000 in savings? No,
Yeah.
I do not.
Yeah. So what that means is basically you spend a lot more than you probably think you do. Right?
Yeah,
Now, I say this
yeah.
because it's always about like at the core level, finance is just basically personal, right? It's personal finance of what you do. And the only way to kind of like know where you're heading is to know where you are. So right now, for example, you need to know exactly what your income is. You need to know
Okay.
exactly how much money you spend. Now, a budget usually has four walls, is what we call it. We have, for example, shelter. So that's basically rent or a mortgage. You also have, for example, groceries, because, if you don't eat, you die, right? And then you have, for example, utilities, because, lights and internet and all that stuff. And then lastly, you also have transportation, like cars and all that stuff, right? So those are the four walls. Anything above those walls is usually just like a want. It's not really a need, right? So
Right.
once you have like that core budget in place, that's when you can. And by the way, if since you're a teacher, they probably give you like a match or some benefits as far as, for example, retirement, right? Like invest into your
Right.
retirement. Yeah.
Yes.
So now, okay. Now let me answer your question, the one you came here for, Tommy. And correct me if I'm wrong here. It sounds like, Tommy, I got interested in stocks. I put some money within the Cash App because it's simple to do, and I'm kind of confused now. Does it sound right?
Yes. That is
Okay.
exactly right.
Okay. So the solution here is basically you have to have a plan, again, to where you're heading. So what exactly is your goal as far as investing?
I would like to make money. So I think what happened with me was seeing that people would buy stock and then they were actively making money. And
Mm-hmm.
then once I bought the stock, I realized, wait, this is not like your 401(b). So
Yeah.
that's so passive. I don't do anything. So I don't know how to
Okay.
actively trade or do anything. I just don't know what to do.
Okay. So the first thing is, do you want passive income for the future? So you have, for example, can be, hey, I'm going to be just fine. I can retire, do whatever I want. Or do you want to basically replace your full-time job and then just be into like a stock picker and so on, and like day trade day in day?
That's what I would like to do.
You want to quit your job as a teacher and become a day trader?
Yes.
Okay, so let me tell you the odds here, right? Because all the games have odds. 80% of day traders lose money. And the top 3% that actually make money from selling courses, right? So it's a game where the odds are not going to be in your favor. It's a game that I don't play. Now, the game I do play is the long-term investments, right? Because the goal is, how old are you, by the way, if you don't mind me asking?
I am 42.
42 years old, right? So now let's say if you invested and just max out, for example, your Roth Ira for the next 20 years, you'll have, for example, $1 million. If you invested a lot more than that, for example, you max out your 403B plan, right? You will have somewhere around $4.6 million, right? By maxing it out. So the answer is in that period of time, maybe like 20 years or maybe like 15, you'll have a decent amount of money to go ahead and retire. That's the idea. But what I don't want for you is basically saying, hey, Tommy, I want to kind of like make extra income, but what you're really going to do is just replace your job, and that's going to be like a working income. And in reality, the odds are going to be against you, right? So it's a huge learning curve. Now, what I do is this, right? As you probably know, do you invest into your 403B plan?
Yes, I do.
Okay. How much money do you have in there?
Right now it is about at 62,000.
62,000?
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot. Congratulations.
I've been trying since I was very young.
Okay, awesome. And is there a Roth option in the company or just like the 403B?
It's 403B.
Okay. Have you ever asked if to have, for example, a Roth 403B because it's also available?
I have not asked.
Okay, so that's one thing and what's the match they give you?
Right now I'm at 80%.
They match 80% of all your contributions?
Uh-huh.
Up to what? Up to how much? Do you know?
That I don't. I do not know.
Okay, that's okay. So that's just questions you have to ask and find out like how much you can match it up to. So the first thing is the 403B plan. It gives you the tax. It's like a 401k in a sense. It gives you the tax benefit today. So basically, you don't pay taxes today, but in the future, you will pay taxes. The Roth 403B plan, however, though, you pay taxes today, and then in the future, you don't pay any taxes, right? So, and again, right, when we get older, we want to have as much money as possible. So that's why usually I want to get any Roth option possible. Now, do you also have a Roth IRA or no?
No.
Okay. So a Roth IRA, the idea is it's also a retirement account. And the whole concept is that you're investing post-tax money, meaning money you've made and paid taxes on already. So it grows tax-free. And when it's time to take it out, you can take all that money out 100% tax-free also. It's all yours. And on top of that, you can invest up to $6K. Now, here's where I want to get to, right? The goal is to retire with basically, but do you rent or do you have a mortgage?
I have a mortgage.
Okay. How much do you have left on that?
I have about 130,000.
130. I love how the way you say thou. And okay, awesome. 130,000. Okay. So here's do you have any debt?
Student loan debt, which I'm not paying on right now because of COVID. I owe about 90,000 in student loans.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm guessing that you're hoping that you get maybe like it forgiven?
I hope Biden, my fingers are crossed.
Okay. Now, there's a statistic that shows basically only 1% of those people that actually go through the whole like forgiveness actually get accepted. So the odds are very, very low. Now,
I know.
yeah, they're very low. So now in my entire program, what I practice is basically you get out of debt first, and then you start investing and also building, for example, a decent emergency account, right? So if I were you right now, well, let me just answer this question first so you know exactly what I mean here. As far as like the way I invest is long term. So I basically buy index funds and ETFs. Now, an index fund is basically a very low cost fund. And on top of that, is trying to track the market and not beat the market. So you ever heard about basically like the S&P 500? You ever heard about that one?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what that one is basically also an index fund. And the idea is that by you buying that index fund, you're a partial owner in the top 500 largest companies in the US. Now, the manager is not trying to beat it, right? So he's just trying to get the average. So it means that's very cheap to actually be a part of. Now, whatever the market does for the year, you're also going to get. So in a way, you're like a partner with the market. You're not trying to beat it. You're trying to basically get the average. Now, over the next 10, 20, 30 years, statistics show that basically it's done between like 8 to 11%. So that's what you can expect to actually make. So what I do is I created a portfolio. I should say basically I use a portfolio because the portfolio was created by someone that's a lot smarter than I am. But the portfolio that I use is basically a portfolio that is made out of ETFs. By the way, ETFs are just exchange traded funds. They're like index funds also in a way, but just traded on the market, so they go up and down and fluctuate a lot more. Not to confuse
Okay.
you, but okay, not to confuse you here, but index funds, I also do that when it comes to retirement. ETFs, I do it, for example, when I'm going like if I had like a Roth IRA or in my taxable account, right? Now, if
Okay.
I were you, my main focus would be, hey, I want to focus on retirement, right? So I would have all my money going towards a diversified portfolio, so I don't take on that much risk. My money grows over time, and I don't have to worry about anything. However, if you go the route of day trading, you can learn it, by the way. It's just basically patterns and all this stuff, and I try to track a trend and all this stuff. But usually it's a guessing game, and 80% lose money. That's not what I want for you. However,
Okay.
in this stage, do you have any kids, by the way?
I do not.
Okay. Are you married?
No.
Okay, so awesome. So you don't really have too much to worry about here. But my main focus would be basically, hey, I want to save $1,000 right now, right? I want to pause all my investments, and I want to work towards erasing this debt. That's the core idea. Once this debt
Okay.
is erased, it'll free up a lot more of your income towards investing, right?
Smart. Yeah.
Now, once your income is freed towards investing and also building an emergency account, I would want you to upgrade that $1,000 emergency fund up to 3 months or 6 months in case you ever lose your job or anything happens this week and still pay the mortgage or whatever. Now,
Okay.
the idea is that once that's fully funded, that emergency account, while you're doing that, you also want to be investing, for example, anywhere from 10 to 20%. Usually 10% is going to be fine. That's when you start investing again, like once you're debt free. But you want to be putting at least like 10 to 20% towards your emergency account. That's your priority at that stage. Stage 2, it's called the foundation, right? Now, stage 3 is basically you already have a mortgage, right? So the goal is
Yes.
you throw an extra 15% of your money towards paying that mortgage off faster. So whatever you have right now, your payment, you put in an extra 15%. That way you're done a lot faster. Now, I'm guessing you have a 30-year mortgage, right?
I do.
Okay. What I usually recommend is get a 15-year mortgage because the goal is to own a house, not to finance a house forever. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But the idea is that if you put in an extra 15% towards that mortgage, you'll be done a lot faster. And you're also investing at the same time to take advantage of compound interest. Now, what are you investing into? You're investing, for example, into index funds, right? Or, for example,
Okay.
into your 403b plan, whatever you want to do, right? That's the idea. But you want to invest in something that basically gives you confidence knowing that, hey, when I retire, I'm going to have this money. Now, as far as priorities, I'd probably max out my Roth IRA first and then put the rest of the
Okay.
money into, for example, well, no. I would go ahead and take all the free money possible from my employer. So ask them, up
Okay.
to what point do you match? When I tell you, hey, we max up to 6% of your salary or 10% of your salary, you say, okay, I want to invest that much. Take all that free money. Whatever money's left over, you put it, for example, into your Roth IRA. That way you have more control. And then what you want to do next is just throw in the extra money towards the mortgage. Now, once this mortgage is done, what does this mean, right? It means you have all this income. Your shelter expense is so low to this point where you don't have to worry. And all you have to do is basically keep investing and enjoy a lot more of your money. That's the core idea.
Yeah, it is.
Okay?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something too, right? YouTube is a cool place, but it's also anyone can give advice, right? And it can say like, you know what, go into day trading and then give up your very good career that you have right now as a teacher. And before you know it, now you're like, oh my gosh, I'm losing money here. What do? I just lost all my savings. You know what I mean? Like you are doing
Yeah.
amazing. Having 62K, that's how much my grandpa has. And he's, for example, like I think like almost 70. In over 40 years of investing, he has around like 40K in his 401k because he
Oh
didn't take it
wow.
seriously. Yeah, very bad, very bad. But you are doing much better, and you didn't even know.
Sweet.
Okay, so you're
Sweet.
on.
Yes,
Yeah.
I thought it was a struggle here. I'm like, I need to do something, and I see all of these young people
Mm-hmm.
investing in this. No one ever taught me how to do any of this,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm just out here.
Yeah, that's fine. And the thing is, remember, right? Young or whatever, like you're gonna be here for a long time, right? So you don't want to like take a step where the odds are, hey, I 50-50, I lose all my money or I make a lot of money, right? That's not the game you want to play. You want to play a game where, hey, I want to grow my money over time. That's all you want to do. But the first step
Okay.
right now would be, Atia, is, hey, let me go ahead and make a budget, right?
Okay.
Let me know exactly how much money I make and how much I'm spending and on what. Do you have any credit card debt, by the way?
I have one credit card because I learned that lesson really young, and
Awesome.
I owe about $500 on that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
I don't do credit cards anymore.
yeah. And now, by the way, you already have a house and all that stuff, so building credit is cool, but really not your priority. And the rule I use for credit cards is basically the one bill method, which means basically you have like internet bill or Netflix or Hulu or Spotify, iTunes, any of that.
Netflix.
Okay. So I'll put basically my Netflix bill on the credit card and set the credit card to auto pay. That way, you basically tackle two of the most important things, which is basically payment history and also utilization, and grab the physical credit card and you cut it. That way, you don't get into credit card debt like anymore or ever again, ever.
Ooh,
Yeah, and that way you still build your credit without getting into debt.
I like it. Okay, that I can do as soon as we get off the phone.
Okay, awesome. The goal is make a budget. Remember the four walls: shelter, groceries, transportation, and also utilities. Anything else is usually going to be a want. You want to start
Okay.
working towards paying off all that debt, which is 90K. If you're very, very conservative, you can pay that off, for example, in 2 to maybe 2.5 years. Now, in 2.5 years, you're 100% debt free, which is an amazing feeling. It's hard to think about that milestone. And right now, I'll
Oh wow.
pause. Yeah. And right now, for example, I will pause all of my investments, right? But I still want you
Okay.
to keep the habit, right? So the way the budget works is basically you have 6 accounts. You have the first account being, for example, emergencies. So just save $1,000. So if anything does happen, you have that money there. And also put, for example, 1% of your money into that. So it starts building up a little bit. When it comes to
Okay.
investments, just put 1% of your money because you want to keep building the habit so you don't forget that habit. And then third
Okay.
is all the extra money towards debt. Then you have expenses. Try to make expenses no more than 15 to 70% of your money, including, for example, the mortgage, right? Because that's also an
Okay.
expense for shelter. When it comes to having fun, only 1%. When it comes to charity, only 1% also. The goal is to
Okay.
build habits, but to attack the priority. The priority right now is getting rid of debt.
Yeah. Okay.
Once you're debt
That makes
free, you move on, for
yeah.
example, to a full blown emergency account. And also, you bump investments from 1% up to 10 to 20%, depending on how you want to do it.
So throw all the money at the mortgage and the student
No,
loan.
no, 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 no. Not the mortgage. You can pause that for a second, right? You throw it
Okay.
over to the student loan debt. I want you to prioritize. And by the way, this
Okay.
90K is not, for example, just a flat 90K. It's probably broken down into a lot of different little loans, right?
Yes, it is. It's insane.
Okay, so what I would do is basically called the Avalanche Method. Meaning, for example, you pay the debt first with the highest APR. That way you
Okay.
save more money mathematically. So if you have a loan that's basically like 6% and one's 4%, pay the one with 6% because basically that one's costing you more money.
Okay.
And right now, since we are on forbearance, the idea is it's the
Yeah.
perfect time because all the money you put towards this loan is going straight towards capital and not towards interest. Because by the way, $90,000, just a 5% interest rate on that is around $4,500 a year being added up. It's a lot of money, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
stomach. It makes my stomach hurt.
But the good thing is that basically you're gonna be fine. You know, you're gonna be fine because you have like a decent amount of money in investments. In 2 to 3 years, you're done with this debt, and then once you're done with that, you have your full emergency accounts. You have your investments, and once you're done with the emergency account, you can say, "Hey, I'm gonna throw extra money towards this mortgage. Finish off paying it, for example, in maybe like you're at 130. So let's say, for example, like 5 to 7 to 9 years, right? And once that's paid
Okay.
off, imagine, for example, your life. What would it look like? Maybe like in 10 years from now. You're debt
10
free.
years from now, that would be insane.
Yeah.
I could breathe.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I feel like I can't breathe right now.
Yeah, exactly. Because you owe 130, you owe 9,000 together. That's a lot of money. It's like 220, isn't it? Yeah, 220. Yeah. And then the 500, so $220,000 and $500 from the credit card debt, right? So yeah. But the priority, right? Don't study anybody else when it comes to, for example, like, oh, these kids are making this much money. Remember, kids are kids, and in the future we'll see which strategy works best. But for right now, your priority is let me pay off my debt. Let me get debt free. Once I'm debt free, I have all my income. And by the way, you work 9 to 5. I'm guessing, right?
I'm sorry?
You work 9 to 5?
Not really. My hours are pretty short as a professor. I'm usually done by noon, but when I have to grade, that'll take me 9 to 5.
Okay. And you have a car?
Yes, it's paid off.
Yeah, awesome. Look, so you can grab that car and maybe like do some Uber or some DoorDash or like another like second job or tutoring or whatever it is, right? Like extra money to up your income to finish paying this debt a lot faster. So it's a sacrifice, I know, but if you make an extra $20,000 a year, that's $20,000 less in the student loan debt,
right?
Plus whatever you throw on it, right? So it's all about attacking this debt and getting rid of it fully.
Yeah, so I usually don't work during the summers, and this summer I'm taking on a job. So I'm glad you said that.
By the way, when you don't work towards the summer, like how do they compensate you? They don't pay you anything?
No, I get paid during the summer. It's the contract that I've signed. I just get paid a little bit less during the semesters that I work, so that I could have summers off. Okay. And I usually just kind of travel a little bit, but being debt free sounds a lot better than traveling right now. So
yeah. And remember, right? The reason I say, for example, just 1% for fun is that I want you to taste and to crave it. You know, I don't want you to be in this little bubble saying I can go traveling, I can do whatever I want, I'm just fine. And then you have like this massive amount of debt on the side and you're just gonna ignore it. You know what I mean? I want you to taste what it's like to have fun with your money while you're also paying debt. And I want it to hurt. I want the debt payments to hurt. So that way, you know, like, hey, I'm not doing this again. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. But it's all step by step. You'll be solid.
Okay. This has been helpful. This is so this what I have in this Cash App, should I just be done
what
with
you
it?
have what you have in that Cash App is, what was it, like $85?
Yes, because I was scared to do anything.
That's very smart, by the way, that you did that, because some people they jump heels into something that they don't understand. So that $85K, if I were you, what would I do? I just take that money and just throw it into my little emergency account that I'm building right now, and that's it. All right.
I will do that when we get off the phone. Yep.
All right. You have any more questions, Atia?
That is it. You have been so helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And by the way, these calls is not like a one-time thing, so I expect progress here. So if you want to give me a call when you're like, oh, Tommy, I did this, I did that. Any questions, just schedule a call and I'll give you a call, okay?
I love it. Thank you.
All right.
Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.
Have fun. Peace out.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. So that right there was Atia, 42-year-old teacher, about to quit her job because basically she saw somebody doing day trading and said, wow, this might be a really good chance, right? Guys, okay, you got to be very conservative and also very intelligent with what you're going to do, right? The idea is that I have an amazing job with amazing benefits, by the way, and also very secure. And also the summer's off. Great job, okay? If I could have been anything, it probably would have been a teacher, okay? Now, the idea is that sometimes we get hooked on all these ideas online. But overall, Atia, $62,000 in her entire 401k. If you ask me, Tommy, why not tell her to go ahead and basically erase that, right? Just basically go ahead and basically liquidate her 401k or 403b plan, because basically it makes no sense. The penalties are so crazy that by the time she's done liquidating it, it won't be worth it. Because first of all, 10% penalty on top of the ordinary income tax, it's gonna be too much, okay? So that's why, hey, pause everything. Just do 1% so you can get the taste of it and keep the habit. But after that, just put all of your money towards debt using the Avalanche Method. That's the idea right here, guys. But overall, great idea. Great conversation. Great person, by the way. And if you have a mortgage, you owe 130 on it. Like once you're done with this debt, tackle that mortgage, you're done with it. You have a bunch of free time, a bunch of free money. That's, well, not free because you're working for it, but it's all yours, right? And that's a great feeling. Don't get caught up with all the trends online because sometimes they look fancy, but when you get hurt, you get hurt really bad, okay? Now, I'll see you guys next time. If you want to talk to me one-on-one on this show, well, go ahead and schedule a call down below. All calls are free from Monday to Friday. That's the only time I do them, okay? So that's why they're free from Monday to Friday from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. Schedule a call down below. And also join me on my main channel and also my Tommy Bryson show, my reaction channel, where I post there every single day on each channel. Links down below also. On top of, if you want to join me on Instagram, well, it's Tommy Bryson. On top of that, lastly, guys, like and subscribe and hit the bell to get notified. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. And as always, peace.